why do you need an agency sponsor? Whoa.
Yeah. So this is actually a very interesting concept because don't think of it from the idea of sponsorship. Think about what FedRAMP as it exists today
Is it a
is.
misnomer? Is
It is. Well, FedRAMP does not like calling it that
Okay.
because it's confusing. It's like old stuff. But
Okay.
the okay, so
Okay.
the core of FedRAMP as it existed historically was one agency does something with the cloud service provider. Let's call it the ATO, right?
Mm-hmm.
I make you fill out this questionnaire. That questionnaire happens to have 800 questions.
Nice.
You answer that questionnaire. That agency is like, cool, I'm going to use you. And then you go to another agency and they go, here is my questionnaire. Please fill this out. And you go, I filled it out for that other agency. And for whatever reason in private sector, it's totally normal, right? If you sell to Google and then you go to Facebook, you're not going to go, Google already bought this, bro. Why are you asking me these questions?
That's right.
like the meta security team is going to put you in a box and they're going to talk to you and they're going to ask you for those questions. So in government, we got that whole idea of economy of scale. So somebody came up with the idea, brilliant idea of, hey, if one agency does the work, they have the paperwork, why don't they send it to a central person and then another agency can ask for that paperwork. Mm-hmm. So think of it as just like a copy. Here is you get an ATO at the VA and DHS wants to use you. Yeah. DHS looks at the VA's paperwork and now they've got answers to 800 questions that they would probably ask.
Right.
So that was the core concept. This is a very oversimplified. I'm sure there are people listening. They're like, Pete, there's so much more nuance to this. I was there back in 1987 when we were talking about this. Cool. But like that is the effective top level vibe. So somebody has to do that work of getting those 800 questions answered with a CSP and having a federal agency sponsored team like vet that and make sure that it's legit. Mm-hmm. And that is what became the idea of a sponsor. Somebody has to front that money.
Got it.
And then as FedRAMP grows, you run into the problem, of course, where it created a false incentive where you could say, if this is something that a lot of people want to use, I can wait for somebody else to spend the money, to invest the time. And then once they've done it, I can just look at their paperwork and make a decision real fast. And that is what led to, in my opinion, in my experience, that is what led to this underlying problem. I got to see that firsthand when I was acting CISO at an agency with a very crazy and unreal experience. I'm so grateful I got to have that. I was acting CISO at an agency where a cloud service provider, that agency had sponsored that cloud service provider. It's New Relic. I'm going to name drop them.
Yeah.
They're cool as heck.
Yeah, so good.
At the time I was a dev, I was like,
Right.
New Relic is highly, highly important. I mean, this is like 2020. Like, we got to have New Relic in FedRAMP.
Right.
But I needed a different sponsor because we weren't using it anymore. So I couldn't go to those meetings and make risk decisions. And, like, it was silly. They had, I think, 30 different agencies using it. I had to reach out personally to a number of contacts at all these agencies. Nobody wanted to sponsor it. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to go to these monthly meetings. I don't have time for that. That's too much effort. And it took me finally connecting with a very specific person at a very specific agency and saying, hey, I'm going to stop sponsorship of this next month. And they're going to lose FedRAMP and you won't be able to use it anymore. And I know that you have it in the middle of a $1 billion mainframe modernization project that is a key part of your system. Right. So you need to step up or it's going to go away. And they said, oh yeah, okay, we'll step up. Crazy. But it literally, I had to walk away from it before they would step up to do it.
Yeah, and life's an incentive game.
It's all an incentive game. And it's not just like it's not a private sector incentive game where you're trying to win the business game. It's everybody, you get 7 M&Ms, you get 3 M&Ms, you get 2 M&Ms. We don't get to decide. It doesn't matter how good your business is. You can be the most successful business in government and you still got your 7 M&Ms, right? So
wow.
It's hard. People hoard their M&Ms. It's fair.